The Mustang. It has been 25 years since it first took to the road and captured the hearts of car fans forever. Rarely has there been a car so perfectly designed for the American market. A sensation from the day it was introduced in 1964, the Mustang, with its clean lines, sporty styling, and quick performance, was destined to become one of the most popular cars of all time. Another famous Ford-built car made its first appearance on the American scene 50 years ago, in 1939. It was the Mercury. One of Ford's most lasting success stories, the Mercury was originally created for the medium-priced buyer who was willing to pay extra for a little more class and distinction in a car. Mercury and Mustang, two legendary cars featured later on in this salute to their big milestone anniversaries. Ford has a history rich in famous cars and milestones. The company's founder, Henry Ford, would have enjoyed this modern-day tribute to some of them. Here he is, the grand old man of the automobile, at his own 75th birthday party put on by his hometown of Dearborn, Michigan in 1938. But for the genius of mass production, milestones more worthy of celebration were some of the records set by his moving assembly lines. At the peak of his success, no other automaker came close to Ford's output of Model Ts. The numbers amazed the world, and when they reached 10 million on June 4, 1924, the company celebrated its first major milestone car. Everybody loved Henry's old Tin Lizzie, the car for the common man. And after a big send-off in the city of its birth, the 10 millionth copy of the world's most popular car would go on a cross-country tour so other folks could see it. Henry Ford was convinced that his Model T would go on forever. But from 1924, when it accounted for 2 out of 3 cars on the road, its sales by 1927 fell 50%. More attractive models from the competition had suddenly made the car obsolete. The Model T was finished. Officially, the last one to come off the line was the milestone 15 millionth Ford, built at the company's Highland Park plant May 26, 1927. It was the end to a spectacular 19-year run, but long past the time for a more modern new design. As the historic last Model T reached the end of the line that day in Detroit, Henry Ford let his son Edsel drive it off. The gesture might have been symbolic. If there was a man who was not sad to see the end of the Model T, it was Edsel. As company president, he had tried without success for years to get his father to change the car to keep pace with the times. Now the cold reality was here. For Henry, life would never quite be the same. His tough old Model T would be a hard act to follow. The replacement for the Model T was the all-new 1928 Model A that came off the Ford assembly line 6 months later. Totally redesigned from the wheels up, it came with an improved chassis and a wide choice of stylish bodies, colors, and options. The Model A was a tremendous success from the very first day, and Edsel's styling influence would help make it a winner, regaining for Ford much of the ground lost in sales in the decline of the Model T. In just 4 years, while the country went from boom to bust in an economic depression, an astounding 5 million of the cars were sold. But by 1931, stiff competition would cut short the spectacular surge in popularity of the Model A. Once again, Henry Ford would be forced to discontinue the perfect car. And one more time, he would show his genius for showmanship by staging another milestone event to wring the last drop of publicity out of a car that had run its course. A Model A four-door town sedan would be tagged as the official 20 millionth car built by Ford. It came down the line at Dearborn on April 14, 1931, and would be the most publicized of all Henry Ford's production triumphs. The bottom was dropping out of Model A sales across the nation, and it would take a bold new strategy to get people back buying Fords. Meanwhile, the automaker would get the most out of his latest milestone car. The special sedan would leave at once on a long nationwide publicity tour. On the road, it would be hosted in many of the country's major cities before returning to Dearborn to be put on display at Ford's new Museum of Americana. It would be the Model A's last chance at glory. Soon replacing it was the exciting new 1932 Ford with the industry's first low-priced V8 engine. Low-slung, fast, and sporty, the 32 V8s would lead the way into a new era of better-looking, better riding, and more powerful Fords. But it was the very bottom of the Depression, and while 1.5 million Model A's had been sold in 1930 alone, it would take nearly 3 years to build 1 million V8s. That day would come June 20th, 1934, when Henry and Edsel watched their long-awaited millionth V8 come off the line. Promoting the 8-cylinder cars in a bad economy had been costly, and this was just the kind of newsworthy event the old master needed to get business rolling again. The 34 Ford, with its 85-horsepower flathead V8, was an improvement on the classy 33 model, with the rakish lines and fashionable front-opening doors that would mark the series. Singled out as the official 1 millionth V8 was a deluxe 4-door sedan. After assembly and some publicity shots with its creators, it would go on public display at the company's big exposition building at the 1934 Chicago World's Fair. In their 34th year in the industry, the Fords would build their 25 millionth automobile. The car was a 1937 deluxe 4-door sedan with its all-new futuristic shape, a distinct departure from anything in the past. It would go on display at the Rotunda in Dearborn, alongside Henry's first automobile, the buggy-like 1896 quadricycle, a dramatic measure of the company's progress. What lay ahead, the Fords could only plan for, but what had been accomplished was one of the great miracles of the industrial world.
Each year, more than 1 million visitors come to Dearborn, Michigan. They gather here at the Rotunda, a permanent guest house at the gateway to the Rouge. Here, before visiting the plant, are presented the latest tangible shapes into which the Ford idea has been molded. Built of welded steel and safety glass, powered by continuously refined V-type 8 and 12-cylinder engines, streamlined and graceful in appearance, here is presented the latest addition to the Ford and Lincoln line. These cars embody all the advanced performance, economy, and safety principles that have been learned by Ford engineers and production experts in more than 35 years of experience, constant research, and scientific pioneering. And so from all over the world and from over all America come visitors by the thousands daily. Some are everyday citizens as you and I. Some are industrialists, scientists, students, business leaders. Some are eminent engineers. Why does this one industrial city attract so many visitors? What have they to learn? What is there here that is unique in the entire automotive industry? What is there here that creates advantages for purchasers when automobile values are appraised and compared? What is there back of these products to explain an exceptional standard of quality for the price? Well, the answers to these questions will be given to you, because the answers are here at the Ford and Lincoln plants. The savings effected by Ford engineering and manufacturing technique amount to millions of dollars annually, which are passed on to the motorists in the form of better automobiles. Shortcuts and savings here are made with machines and materials, not with men. And it is this efficiency which makes the work go faster, not the men. An efficiency which produces higher quality at less cost and at high wages. It is here that the world's largest builder of transportation is also the world's largest user of transportation in the form of 150 miles of conveyors, which bring the work to the man so that the man does not have to go to the work.
By 1939, Ford had built 27 million cars and trucks. It was a prosperous year, and that summer the company produced its first advertising commercials in color for release to movie theaters.
Oh, Ellen, darling, we're all so proud of you.
This is a great day for me, having my daughter graduate an honor student.
Oh, Daddy.
Oh, Ellen, just a moment. Look over here. Well, how do you like it?
You don't mean, Daddy, that it's really mine?
It's all yours, and here are the keys.
Oh, Daddy. Come on, girls, let's go for a ride. Here, Mother. Oh, a new Ford. And what a lovely color. And such a roomy seat.
And now, Ellen, you also have the key to style leadership. Get the feel of V8 performance. See your nearest Ford dealer for a ride in the quality car in the low price field.
The year 1939 was a milepost in the progress of Ford Motor Company. For the first time, hydraulic brakes were offered on the entire line, and an exciting new car had just been introduced. It was called the Mercury. Design work was started on the Mercury in early 1938. It was to be something of a super Ford, engineered from a clean sheet of paper, with a distinctive flair and style of its own. From the curve of a fender to the shape of its wider body and smooth aerodynamic front end. In the early phase of design, the car didn't have a name. Many were considered, such as the Swallow, the Ford Arrow, and the Wing Victory. But in the end, it would be called the Mercury, after the mythical wing god of the messengers, and for its day had all the grace of line and suggestion of swiftness to justify its name. The first look at the new Mercury before it was unveiled to the public came on October 17, 1938. Ford sales managers and the nation's press were invited to the company's test track in Dearborn, where they could inspect the new car up close, along with the rest of the 1939 Ford line. At first glance, it looked much like its cousin, the Ford, compared here to a Ford Deluxe Coupe. But on closer study, it had just enough styling differences, more room inside, extra features, and more power to justify its higher price tag. It was a car in particular that Edsel wanted to be successful, because he had convinced his father to build it. The handsome new Mercury would not let him down. From the day it first went on sale, November 4th, 1938, it would win a following that has continued faithfully to this day.
Less than 12 short months ago, a new car made its bow to the public. It was the Mercury 8, a car that started in to set records from the very day of its introduction. Always climbing, it soon was numbered among the first 10 in sales, a first-year record unparalleled in modern motor car history. Everywhere this new car went, interest grew until the Mercury became the most talked-about car in America. More than 60,000 Mercurys were sold in the first 12 months following its announcement.
This is the newest chapter in the story of a great success. The 41 Mercury with longer spring base and a softer, smoother, quieter ride is out to smash its previous record for quick popularity. No matter what you are driving now, we want you to discover the matchless beauty and performance of Mercury. There's a thrill to the feel of Mercury's wheel.
Wherever you go today, there's one car you're sure to see. Mercury. For the beautiful Mercury is gaining more and more new owners in every state of the Union. And for plenty of good reasons, too. Mercury is the perfect car for Mr. and Mrs. In fact, it's the ideal car for the entire family.
Women love Mercury because it rides so smoothly.
That's because of such things as Mercury's new front coil springing and soft foam rubber cushioned seats.
The way Mercury hugs the road gives you such a wonderful feeling of safety.
That's Mercury's new lower center of gravity, new low-pressure tires, big, powerful brakes, and extra solid construction. You'll find power aplenty for hills or straightaway in Mercury's big new 8-cylinder V-type engine. Put all these things together and you have in Mercury a combination that means more value for you. But find out for yourself. See your Mercury dealer. He'll be happy to give you a demonstration.
Do you think you have steep hills to climb where you live? Here's a 17% grade, far worse than most. And Ford makes it with ease. But hold your hat. This side of the hill is a different story. Here's a 30% grade. That's a far tougher hill test than most cars ever encounter. Will the brakes hold? Easily. The handbrake? Of course. Well, let's go down this mountain and go back up the other way. We start at 10 miles an hour in second gear. Do we make it? Your new Ford does. How will your Ford travel in sand? Here's where steady power and perfect brake and engine protection get one of their stiffest challenges, as any driver in sandy country knows. But hey, we made it in high. Day after day, throughout the year, Ford keeps making the best buy better. Now, you might possibly get your Ford into a predicament like this once in its lifetime. But Ford's engineers do it over and over, hundreds of times. Even on this twisting torture test, the Ford can be steered with one hand. Day and night, through the heat of summer and the cold of winter, through rain and sleet and snow and mud, over smooth, slick roads and punishing bumps, Ford makes sure of the performance of each and every part and feature. And here's your new Ford, now 50 ways finer, 450. Performance proved from stem to stern.
Now, if you've already seen this great new Mercury, I know that you'll agree with me that it is terrific. And notice, too, the beauty of this Mercury interior, just one of an endless array of fabrics, colors, and patterns that lend even more prestige to Mercury's reputation for quality throughout. And this one is exclusive to the Mercury Sun Valley, the world's first transparent top production car, a dream car of the future at your Mercury dealers right now, along with all the beautiful 1954 Mercury models. So see them this week. See and drive the 1954 Mercury, the car with a new kind of power that makes any driving easy.
My name is Pamela Dowdy, and I'm the fashion show director here at Neiman Marcus in Dallas. You know, Texas women are extremely fashion conscious in their homes, their clothes, and their automobiles. That's why so many of our patrons drive to Neiman Marcus in beautiful new 1954 Ford. The decorator-styled fabrics and trim are fashioned to suit the most exacting tastes. That's why we like the new 54 Ford.
We Texas men like Fords for lots of other reasons, too. One thing we especially like is this Y8 brand right here. It stands for Ford's new Y-block V8 engine. Just one more reason why you'll see more and more smart Texans driving Fords nowadays. Yes, Ford's a standard for Texas roads, and that means the American road, too.
He parks cars. And he likes his work. Because so many of the cars he parks these days seem to be Mercurys. And Mercury is always bringing you the new cars, like this Phaeton. The Big M. Big, isn't it? The Mercury Montclair Phaeton, one of 3 Mercury Phaetons. Look how easily it handles. Beautiful, too. The bold, massive grille of this Mercury Monterey station wagon. The bold, massive taillights of this roomy Mercury Monterey sedan. The whole low, long sweep of the big Mercury Montclair coupe. The Big M comes in a big range, from models priced right among the low-priced 3, through 2 luxurious 4-door sedans, to 3 racy hardtop Phaetons. And, oh, what's this? Oh, the Mercury Montclair convertible, a companion of the Mercury Custom convertible. Even the interiors have that big, bold, beautiful look.
Spring in America. The time for buds, birds, leaves, and washing the family car. Ever notice the different ways the American citizen goes about this car washing job? This fellow, for instance. He imagines himself a great surgeon, and his patient, this gorgeous Ford Fairlane hardtop, one of the 16 new Ford models. Lovely patient. Soapy water, sponge, chamois. All right, now. Then we have another kind of car washer, the eternal supervisor. He's the one who never tires of giving orders. His children learn the virtues of honest labor. And his wife helps too, sees to it that the handsome Ford interior is kept spotless. Faster, faster! And of course, we have the Rembrandts, the kind of car washer who admires every view, every feature of his Ford. And you can't exactly blame him. The jaunty tilt of the hooded headlamps, the front end, wide, low, and distinctively Ford. The wide extra-vision curve of Ford's all-around windshield. The sweeping Ford lines and smart chrome. The standard baked enamel finish, built to keep its showroom beauty. He's right. That 55 Ford is a work of art.
Record numbers throng into the Coliseum for the 42nd National Automobile Show. It's being held in New York for the first time in 16 years. And as if to make up for lost years, the show is staged on a lavish scale. Power aplenty is represented here. Mighty new engines and power accessories galore on the 124 makes and models displayed. Styling verges on the spectacular, from air scoop grills to the dramatically sweeping tail fins that dominate most of the 57 models. The cars are longer and lower than ever this year, too, thanks in part to the smaller 14-inch wheels. Most of the 51 million passenger cars in use today seem drab and boxy, stacked up against these newest dreamboats. High in the dreamboat class, this one has everything for the busy executive. Makes work worthwhile. There's a trend to the sporty and more colorful. Detroit's designing geniuses keep pace with a nation that's taking more and more to the road. One of the year's innovations, the hardtop convertible. Just push a handy little button and the solid roof folds back out of the way. See it and believe it. And there is room for luggage, too.
Most days, Mulberry Street is pretty quiet, but you should have seen all the excitement the day Bob Jordan sprung his big surprise on the neighborhood. Great. Nobody had ever seen anything quite like this new kind of Ford, the Skyliner, the world's only hideaway hardtop. Naturally, everyone wanted to see how it worked, and just as naturally, Bob wanted to show them. He pulled the control lever, and the magic started. First, the rear deck lid swung up. Next, the all-steel top automatically began to rise. Then the forward panel folded under. The top continued to move back and down and finally descended smoothly into the trunk. You saw it happen, from an all-steel hardtop to a wide-open convertible in less than a minute. But do you think this crowd was satisfied?
Hey, do it again, Bob.
Please put the top back up.
And Bob obliged. You know, the Ford Skyliner is really a revolutionary car. And this is important to you, no matter which one of Ford's 21 exciting new models you choose. because the Skyliner demonstrates the kind of advanced engineering, exhaustive testing, and downright extra value that goes into every feature and every part of every new Ford. Are the Thunderbirds, United States Air Force jet demonstration team. Their F-100 Super Sabres are powered by Pratt & Whitney J57 engines, manufactured by the Ford Aircraft Engine Division. Now, here are three more super performers from Ford. The 1957 Ford Thunderbirds. You're looking at the latest version of America's most talked about car. For 57, Ford has shaped the classic Thunderbird profile into a completely fresh, completely distinctive style all its own. New swept-back tail fins and the longer rear deck add elegance to its lower-than-ever lines. These new dimensions give you more luggage room, too. Even with a spare tire inside, you get more luggage space than last year. You know, there's not another car like it in America. It's powered by a big 312 cubic inch V8 engine with twin 4-barrel carburetors. You'll have to look far to find a performer that can match this one. Or will you? Well, birds of a feather fly together, and only the new kind of Ford for 57 has the Thunderbird's kind of go. This new Sunliner, for example, is powered by the same mighty V8 engine that's in the Thunderbird. Here's the new Fairlane 500 Town Victoria. It has the mark of tomorrow in every detail, like the new swept-back windshield pillars. This is Ford's custom 300 four-door sedan. Only Ford in the low-price field gives you this choice of two longer sizes. And speaking of size, just size up this new country sedan, one of 5 Ford station wagons. Visit your Ford dealer and find out about the new kind of fun you can have in the new kind of Ford.
There comes a time when every man must defer to his wife's wishes. A case in point, an evening of modern art. Now, she likes it, and he, well, he's not quite sure. But wait a minute. Can this be modern art? Very definitely, says she. Consider it a beautiful form in space. Ah, like sculpture that moves, says he. Even when it's standing still, says she. Consider the grace and elegance of each detail. How each line is beautifully proportioned to the whole classic design. Well, naturally, says he, this is the new Ford Galaxy, one of the world's most beautifully proportioned cars. But it's a beauty with a purpose. That graceful, sloping hood and larger windshield let you see more of the road. Well, please notice this smart, absolutely unique roof. Could only be inspired by the Thunderbird, says he.
This is the New York World's Fair at the midpoint of the 60s. From the day its gates opened, people were drawn to it from every state and city in America. Across the Bridge of Nations is the transportation area, with Ford Motor Company's pavilion. After viewing the gardens and other exhibits on the main floor, visitors are conveyed to an upper level for their Magic Skyway ride. And now, guests are ready to travel through the great Disney adventure, an adventure experienced by millions. In the first season alone, these cars, gliding effortlessly along an automated turnpike of tomorrow, traveled a distance equivalent to 34 times around the world. More than 100 bright new convertibles moved continuously, offering fair visitors the ride of a lifetime. As the ride begins, visitors are greeted with a recorded message from Ford Motor Company's chairman of the board.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Henry Ford II. Welcome to Ford Motor Company's Magic Skyway, an adventure created by the incomparable Walt Disney. A voyage through time and space, from a dark and distant yesterday to a bright and promising tomorrow. May you all have an entertaining trip.
George is right. Seems like every time you pick up a paper these days, there's a story about Ford's total performance in open competition.
We're at Pomona, California for the 1964 NHRA Winter National. Billy Cox is here, competing in Class A stock automatic. Later in the year, he'll switch to factory experimental cars and continue to be a big threat. And Gas Ronda is here to compete on his way to becoming World Point Champion in stock cars in 1964. Now we're in the staging area where the cars get in line for their runs. Ronnie Sox moves up to the line. The cars are started by the Christmas tree, an anticipated start system that tells the driver when he can go and automatically disqualifies him if he starts too early. Let's take a ride with Len Richter in his Thunderbolt. Watch Len go through the gears.
Race day at Le Mans. It seems the entire crowd of more than 300,000 has descended onto the track for one last close-up look at the incredible racing machines. Ferrari has 3 of their factory P4s in the top 10, and they finished 1, 2, 3 in the only other 24-hour race of the season at Daytona. The candy-colored Fords are the fastest, with 6 of the top 10 starting positions. Miraculously, the track begins to clear as 55 drivers prepare for the world's most famous traffic jam, the Le Mans start of the 24 hours of endurance. Ronnie Bucknam, driving the number 57 Ford Mark II, leads the pack off the starting grid. A snarling pack of Ferraris, Fords, and Porsches scream into the first turn and under the Dunlop Bridge, all in pursuit of Ronnie Bucknam and the privilege of being first lap leader at Le Mans. All 6 of the Ford entries are powered by modified 427 cubic inch Ford engines, similar to those used in stock cars on the NASCAR circuit. Dan Gurney, driving the number 1 Ford Mark IV, has steadily moved through the pack. Now, from the air, we see Gurney quickly accelerating to become the leader on the 48th lap. Gurney has been driving for about 2 hours now, and teammate A.J. Foyt waits for his turn behind the wheel. The bright red Ford comes into the pits. Tires are checked and changed. Fuel is added, and Gurney holds a quick conference with A.J. Things seem to be going well for the Ford team, and everyone seems confident. Foyt begins his 2-hour stint behind the wheel, his first appearance in competition at Le Mans, and with only 10 practice laps under his belt. In the fading light, the Ford cars are doing incredibly well. Dennis Hulme in a Mark II Ford has set a new lap record of 3 minutes, 23 and 6/10 seconds. Mario Andretti equals that mark in his Ford Mark IV. A.J. Foyt, the rookie everyone was worrying about, has charged into a 7-lap lead. There's the checkered flag. Dan Gurney climbs atop the Ford Mark IV to join teammate Foyt for a ride to the winner's circle. It's an all-American win. The veteran Dan Gurney from California, the hard-charging A.J. Foyt from Texas, and the durable Mark IV Ford from Dearborn, Michigan. Together, they've covered 3,267 miles at an average speed of 135 miles an hour, both new records.
It is the Indianapolis 500.
Actually, when you get right down to it, all cars kind of started with open wheels, the ones we sold and the ones we raced.
Jack Fassino directs Ford Motor Company's racing operations. He has seen every conceivable kind of automobile race all over the world.
And as such, there's a mysticism about the Indianapolis race, which is the biggest single spectator event probably in the United States and maybe in the world from the standpoint of public awareness. I think that the tension at Indianapolis by virtue of that 30-day carnival I have down there is unbelievable.
Perhaps no one feels that tension more than Mario Andretti. Rookie of the Year at Indy in 1965 and twice national champion, Andretti has yet to finish first in the big one. As usual, the man to beat is Anthony Joseph Foyt. 5 times national champion, 3 times a winner at Indy. A.J. earns the pole position in his Coyote Ford with a speed of 170.568 miles per hour. Andretti demolishes his Lotus Ford in a qualifying accident and will drive his backup car, a Hawk powered by a turbocharged Ford engine. It is Andretti and Foyt for the big prize. The battle is joined by Roger McCluskey. But the race is dominated by Andretti.
William Clay Ford, one of the grandsons of Henry Ford, drives to work in a Thunderbird. The camera follows Mr. Ford as he drives along the Edsel Ford Expressway, named in honor of his father, Henry Ford's only son. At the entrance of Ford Motor Company's Styling Center in Dearborn, he stops to be recognized, and the security guard waves him through. And stop he must. There are guards at every gate. This is the Advanced Styling Studio, which is devoted primarily to styling years ahead. These are some of the men who spin daydreams, the kind of daydreams that have a way of coming true. They sketch plans and drawings by the thousands to get the few designs that show real promise for production. Those that show promise reach the attention of Mr. Ford and Jean Bourdonnais, Vice President and Director of Styling. Next, they call in the chief stylists from the 4 styling studios. At these sessions, protocol goes out the window. More likely than not, they'll make important changes in the design approach to get the one theme which will capture the imagination of the buying public. Now, Mr. Ford carries the ball to the styling committee, consisting of other top executives. This includes brothers Henry, chairman of the board, and Benson Ford, who heads the company's dealer policy board. They like what they see, and styling gets the green light to proceed with the design.
In the early 1960s, the Ford design staff would be given an assignment that would have a big effect on the auto industry. There was a lot of public interest in sports cars and racing, and the order was to begin experiments with a small two-passenger car that could be mass-produced in quantity. The car was to be designed along the lines of the small European nameplates, which were attracting a growing cult of young American buyers. After several months, the winning design evolved. It had the engine in the rear, functional air scoops, and details that reflected a lot of youthful ideas. The experimental car would be called the Mustang. It would have a hand-built aluminum body by the custom shop of Troutman and Barnes, and would make its first test run in 1963.
The faces of Ford's top executives reflected their surprise and delight in seeing this research car put through its paces for the first time. There was good reason for their interest and pleasure. Its advanced features made a lot of sense. They proved completely functional, added styling appeal, and could be applied to many of the company's future products. Although advanced features, such as those incorporated in this development, are usually kept as company secrets for competitive reasons, Ford recognized that this particular research vehicle, being in sports car configuration, would have wide public appeal. Its fresh new appearance, its unique styling, generated immediate interest wherever it was seen. Here at the University of Miami, the Mustang pulls up in front of the Student Union and is engulfed by students who are seeing the car for the first time. As everywhere, they are full of questions, want to know all about a car they had only heard about.
Mustang 1 was popular wherever it was shown, but it was decided that what America really needed was a four-seater family sports car. So a new Mustang 2 concept car was developed using the small V8 engine and conventional drivetrain of the existing Falcon. Mustang 2 had the extra seat, the racy look, and basic styling that the marketing department wanted, and, with a few refinements, would evolve into the design that would soon go on to the Ford assembly lines. What emerged would rock the industry. The car that would start the pony car craze and open a new chapter in the romance of the automobile would make its official public debut April 17, 1964, at the Ford Pavilion at the New York World's Fair.
Out of the Ford Pavilion, there's a daydream corner called Mustang. This is the car that dreams are made of. So dream your own Mustang. Take your choice of a 6 or 3 V8s, power steering, power brakes, automatic or standard transmission, dozens of options. But as standard equipment, you get bucket seats, wall-to-wall carpeting, all vinyl upholstery, padded instrument panel, and full wheel covers. Even though Mustang is a dream, its low price is a beautiful reality. Test drive one right now.
Mustang, a brilliant new breed of car. Tiffany & Company, for generations a symbol of beauty and elegance. Now Tiffany, who never before honored any automobile, has honored the Ford Mustang with this gold medal award for excellence in American design. Mustang, excitingly versatile, unexpectedly practical, with a wide list of options to make it even more luxurious or give it even more sports car performance. This is Mustang, an unexpected car at an unexpected price. Only $2,368 FOB Detroit. And that includes luxury features that are available only at extra cost in many other cars.
Stampede, a stampede of 100,000 Mustangs. Ford Mustangs. In less than 4 months, the Ford Mustang has become the most talked about, most exciting, and fastest selling new car in over 20 years. Seems like just about everyone wants one, and with good reason. It's a practical car, no matter what your age. It's a sports car, for all sports. It's a luxury car. Mustang is as personal as you want to make it. Its bucket seats, all vinyl upholstery, wall-to-wall carpeting, padded instrument panel, full wheel covers are standard. But the long list of options makes Mustang the car designed to be designed by you. See your Ford dealer, sit in a Mustang, drive one, see why 100,000 Mustang owners are part of the stampede to Ford.
Have you heard about Henry Foster? He owns the antique shop in town. Every day for 17 years, Henry's had his lunch right here at the Buttercup Tea Shop. But lately, Henry's changed. He hasn't been in for days. Folks say something's happened to him.
Mustang happened to Henry. The 65 Fastback Mustang. They call it the 2+2. It seats 2 up front, and when you fold down the 2 back seats, there's room for a beach umbrella, surfboard, and a pheasant under glass. Henry's become quite a gourmet, so I try to have everything ready for him when he gets here. Why don't you change your life? Take a Mustang out for lunch tomorrow.
For those who prefer the cool world, the sheer excitement and breathtaking beauty of the new Mustang 2+2 is the answer. On the front fenders, its own special nameplate. And inside, its sleek European beauty is further enhanced by such unique interior design features as a dual-purpose seat that can accommodate 2 children or 2 adults on a short haul. Or when the occasion demands, can be converted into a cargo deck simply by folding down the rear seat back. For even more utility space, an access door between the trunk and rear compartment can be opened to provide a long, spacious cargo area ideal for carrying golf clubs, skis, surfboards, well, you name it. There are other innovations as well, such as these vents in the rear roof pillars, which, incidentally, are more than just an attractive styling note. They are part of an air extractor system that draws stale air and smoke out of the passenger compartment when the car is in motion. Along with innovations such as this, the 2+2 also incorporates all the other standard equipment that makes Mustang the most complete car in its price class.
This is the Ford GT, the ultimate in a road car. In international competition, its total performance has startled the world at Le Mans, Daytona, and Sebring. Now, out of this laboratory on wheels comes the unexpected. Mustang GT, designed to be designed by you. What marks the true GT? Mustang's GT stripe, GT fog lamps, 5-cluster instrument panel, sport steering wheel, front wheel disc brakes, a heavy-duty stabilizer bar, flared dual trumpet exhausts, and a 289 cubic inch 4-barrel V8. This GT you designed in the 2+2 convertible or hardtop. Look for the mark of the true GT now at your Ford dealers. The Mustang GT.
What started this stampede? A love affair that changed 1 million people. Grandmothers, dads,
kids, even the family dog. What changed them all? Mustang, the car that made 1 million drivers become Mustangers in just 2 years. Why have 1 million people gone for Mustang? That's easy. It's the way Mustang goes for people. Both the Standard 6 and the 289 cubic inch V8 give them ready, willing, and eager performance and on regular gas. You can get the best buy ever on a new Mustang right now at your Ford dealers. He has specially equipped, specially priced Mustangs that will put you way ahead. You're ahead in a Ford all the way.
She's all sweets and bucket seats, sweet 6-cylinder Mustang, power packed and really stacked. Sweet 6-cylinder Mustang, low gas diet made me try it. Sweet 6-cylinder Mustang, you're my kind of car. Yes, you really are. She's a root-toot-tootin', big six-shootin', sweet 6-cylinder Mustang.
Why don't you come in and see what a terrific deal the Ford dealer will give you on a new Mustang? It's got all kinds, all colors, all options. Pick out any one you like. All except this one. This one's mine.
Is this the fountain of youth? No. This is Mustang, the car that made 1 million people fall in love. How do you explain this incredible romance? Since it's always love at first sight with Mustang, its beauty counts. Millions love that look, that certain unmistakable Mustang look. And yet there's so much more to love. The standard features like bucket seats, full carpeting, or such options as 3-speed cruise-o-matic, a stereosonic tape player, tachometer, and on and on. But it's senseless to explain why 1 million people love Mustang. The point is, you can now get the best buy ever on a Mustang at your Ford dealers. You're ahead in a Ford all the way.
Pauline felt trapped in a gilded cage until she flew to answer the call of Mustang. 3 new ways to answer the call of Mustang. Her choice, the Mustang hardtop, which is hard to top. An optional full-width seat with center armrest. A 390 cubic inch V8 option for action. Choose a select shift that's automatic or manual. And Mustang takes her on a high-flying ride to romance. Mustang! Answer the call of Mustang. No telling where it will lead. You're ahead in a Ford all the way.
Only Mustang makes it happen. Only Mustang has the key. Mustang moves you, Mustang grooves you, Mustang, Mustang sets you free. Free to be the guy you wanna be. Free to be the girl you're gonna be. And if you think it's never, never gonna come true, it's gonna happen when Mustang happens to you.
Mustang, the original, with brand new styling. A better idea than ever for 68.
The man, Carroll Shelby, engineer, race driver. The car, the Shelby Mustang GT.
To build my kind of car, I had to take an existing car and modify it. I could have chosen any set of wheels I wanted. I picked Mustang. Mustang is styled right, lean and strong looking, not fat and round. And Mustang has that long list of features and options. I'll tell you, when it comes to imitations, I've seen some, but competition for the original, I haven't seen any. Only Mustang makes it happen. These aren't just words, it's a fact.
Mustang, Mach 1. In 1969, all the Mustangs will take their cue from this way out but way in wild one. With styling all new. Longer by almost 4 inches. That much more impressive in the long hood look that Mustang pioneered. Wider too, and lower. And power as big as a new 428 Cobra Jet Ram Air induction V8 option. To make the Mach 1 the hottest car in Mustang's class. An 8 so hot performing, it comes with its own poke-through air cleaner that jumps when the engine growls. Mustang, Mach 1. Color this one hot. From here, the excitement jumps to all kinds of big new power for the Mustang, in addition to the Cobra Jet. And not one, but 2 all-new 351 V8s. To give Mustangers a still wider choice of hot V8s. Mustang, the car that turned on 2 million people in record time. Not about to change its ways. Only Mustang tops a Mustang.
See some going things with wheels and wings.